Iesf Malaysia menentang Indonesia guys. Sorry tak ada mikrofon.
Alright. Seems we're just gonna jump straight into game number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia takes on Malaysia. Type in the live chat
Oh,
right
ni
now.
guys, emblem baru guys.
Hashtag Indonesia
Albert pakai.
win or Malaysia win in the comment section down below.
Dia bagi CD cepat first skill dengan second skill.
Albert versus Skies. Roger versus Fredrin. Also, temporal rain for Albert. Whoa, interesting. The new emblem on the Fredrin. We don't get to see this a lot, by the way.
Temporal rain. You're having a shorter, like a cooldown reduction effect on your skills when you use your ultimate. I guess he's intending to spam it out while farming in the jungle. Fredrins do that, but we'll have to see how effective this is because it takes away from some of his combat potential, especially pre-level 4. But Keyboy, as you can see, already diligently protecting the jungle, making sure that so far no real big plays are happening. But especially with the low Yi, I expect Indonesia to really start ramping up the aggression, particularly right now.
Ni masih okay guys.
It's an onward by Keyboy, just doing some damage over to Yums there, poking him down. But I like the fact that a lot of the fighters in the XP lane, they're just going for Impure Rage now over the Brave Smite. I think it's because of the change to the War Axe. Now you technically have the
Tommy memang nak sangat ni pesan ni ke? Kalau link pas sedap emblem baru tu.
Right? So you can just go for even more sustain with the Impure Rage.
Nanti saya cuba.
Mana, but if you have mana, then you can just stay in lane a lot more.
Aku dengar link macam sedap pakai Warcry emblem baru juga Warcry. Dengar.
The sustain coming in from the War Axe makes that item in
Gorgeous terlepas satu minion gang tadi nyawa dia bau suku guys, tapi kenapa dia balik
War Axe now is just so good. I was expecting a lot more fighters to show up, but Lupi now getting
Lupi bau-bau macam takkan pergi. Bukan takkan pergi, dia akan pergi guys, tapi risky. Kalau Albert ada datang naik atas, takut ada benda yang tak nak terjadi guys.
But you can see that for both teams they're taking this very slow. They don't want to be the
Gorgeous
first
tak level 4. Terlepas tu minion tadi tak level 4 ni. Ni Skies kena hati-hati tau. Reset. Lupi dapat Viraga balik. Flicker daripada Stormy tidak terkena nampaknya.
Getting out of it now as Yums cannot go for the wild charge, not just yet. Is still level 3, hovering over, but finally gets level 4.
Penalty zone bersama ulti flick ngam. Wow. Betul. Oh, Gorgeous dapat turtle. Nampak gayanya Albert jadi tumbang sebelah dapat oleh Skies. Gorgeous jadi tumbangkan. 1-1 guys
wants to make it 2 for 1, but in the end it's a win for Team Malaysia early.
Wow, it's just how we expected, man. Indonesia and Malaysia, there is always going
Alu
to be
sekarang macam sakit bah.
gonna be chaos.
Aku perasan kan orang guna Alu bila jumpa Julian asal guys
But when it comes down to it, it was just an all-out brawl, and like you
baru
mentioned,
tanpa tak okey suara tu kenapa? Sakit tekak batuk kak.
abuse coming in.
Biasa lah guys, musim-musim.
Right there. CW just like me, you know, he loves to use that.
Bukan, saya hilang suara sebab minta donation guys. Tak keluar donation saya dari tadi ni. Social bus ni.
Malaysia just barreled through and they're kind of holding back Indonesia, and in the midst of everything, Gorgeous out of everyone was the one to secure that turtle. So small win for Malaysia, but overall it's still a very slow game. But Malaysia is doing a great job just staving off the aggression and the level 2 power spike technically from the low Yi. So we're gonna have to wait a bit longer to see some kind of big play, but Gorgeous getting roasted here in the lane.
Wait, minion.
Now as Lupi gets so much more space to pick up the turret shield. And you'll actually
Paksa lepaskan minion balik guys supaya tak nak mati. Keyboy? Oh, ultimate cantik baru Stormy sebenarnya tadi.
As he's able to deal with Keyboy just through that stun and also a spear of destruction that's going to be used.
Kita nampak macam orang tak function tau guys dekat rank, tapi dekat tournament tak tahu lah. Aurora Stormy ni semak tu.
They're trying to make sure they get as much advantage as possible, especially when they have control over the map before the diversions coming in from Indonesia will start to be an issue.
Turtle akan spawn turtle kedua dalam 7 saat saja lagi.
With the Purify, it's going to be a lot more difficult to really pick off, even though CW is on the Brody that can facilitate some of these ganks.
Okay, set up for the second turtle now. Lutpi doing the same thing he's been doing to Gorgeous up top, just roasting him down.
Sedang ditarik oleh Yum.
Up top, trying to deal with
Lambatkan sedikit.
Actually jumps in as the War Axe gets completed by Gorgeous. Keyboy with Earth Shatter, going to zone Stormy away from this turtle. But look at the barrier there.
Okay, semua ready
Albert
guys.
won't be able to take full aggro on it. Gorgeous gets
Penalty zone daripada Gorgeous kena 2. Turtle. Oh lama retry. Killing spree. Sky macam membangkan Albert. Lupi. Berjaya ditumbangkan oleh Gorgeous. Gorgeous nampaknya bakal ditumbangkan juga. Dive turret ditarik. Muntah dia tadi. Boleh datang. Oh baik. Wah. Satu backup yang baik daripada Stormy. Baik tu. Dua-dua Maret. Bukan Maret. Albert tak tekan retry lagi pun tadi tu.
They were able to focus down the targets even more efficiently than Indonesia and still get the global presence.
Lolial.
Breaking out all over
Keyboy.
the place.
Hampir mati.
Coming in with the spear of destruction earlier was just an absolute win. He knows his team.
Keyboy berjaya ditumbangkan oleh Yums. Betul. Berjaya diamankan oleh Albert.
In that fight as well. And just off screen there, Yums was able to find yet another kill. So it was the turtle taken away. It was the bottom tower.
Kalau ikut draft mana lagi sedap tau. Mana lagi sedap kalau damage Malaysia lah. Kalau CC ini kan, kalau Indonesia ni ambil Mino kan, Malaysia susah tu. Serius tu. Tapi kita tengok lah macam mana scaling nanti. Dia dekat early game ni kita nampak memang kalau Sky bergerak bebas sikit lah sebab dia hero marksman fighter mobility kan, dia senang bergerak. Mid lane pecah guys. Lolil jadi ni.
On the Roger. So look at that execute threat for the members of Indonesia. And as we mentioned, Gorgeous.
Amin, thank you
He was already doing so much
Pendekar tanpa nama, semoga dimurahkan rezeki.
Ooh, right there. Steal attempt as Albert tries to retaliate.
Yum menggunakan ulti untuk melarikan diri. Mungkin Stormy dikejar oleh Albert. Ultimate daripada Stormy. Oh, satu backup yang baik daripada Gorgeous.
Giving Indonesia a chance to take Stormy out. Meanwhile, all in the top lane, you can see Lolial just dealing with the minion waves, now shoving in Albert, looking for a play again onto
Oh, ni dia mati guys, tak ada ulti lah. Memang kena knock.
Finally get a trade that's worthwhile, but it's not going to be worthwhile for long. That's a turret traded up top for the kill on the roamer.
This is just Malaysia using this macro plan so well. The fact that they can send a gold laner to just keep farming again and again, enjoying these fights from so far away. It's giving them so much
atas bagi je duk, kalau pergi mati duk.
Indonesia, they do have damage but they're struggling to lock down and find pickups.
Jangan dah secure area atas tu dah. Buat setup baru dekat area turtle lah aku rasa.
It's a Grok that's just so difficult to really lock down.
Teleport ke mana ni?
Can it pay off?
Area turtle terus.
Yeah, straight into the bottom lane they go. They tried to just get that position and they will be able to get that over Malaysia. They set up for the turtle again. That's going to be an onward and the Earth Shatter locking Yums down as Lippy deals with that damage. Oh my god, the dispersion and the rotation almost takes Yums down.
Tumbangkan asal tak guna ulti untuk lari ya. Okay, turtle yang ketiga nampaknya tak akan di-contest oleh Malaysia.
On the other side of the map, Moscow still just farming.
It's a great play for Indonesia to just decisively go for it. And if Malaysia obliges, they seem to be in position to go for a fight, but knowing that Lolial is usually a bit further
ulti
away,
flicker kena kat Rachewe.
Yeah, with the flicker comboed in together. Now
Gorgeous dah banyak receive damage ni.
Gorgeous might be caught in sort of her memory as they go for.
Wah, diversion. Ulti lari ban.
As she used the ultimate too, trying to
Kita dah tahu Gorgeous tak ada flicker, Stormy pun dah tak ada flicker.
Some big resources.
The diversion set up inside the bush. Crafty stuff here from Indonesia, but their troubles are still around. They haven't been able to use a lot of these diversion plays because they don't have control over the map overall. Just because Yums has been aggressively contesting vision and information, and Keyboy on the Iesf is just not as mobile. Not a lot of ways for him to really escape from a full-on chase. So he's just forced to play a bit more conservatively. And right now, though, you're seeing that possibly the top lane turret might fall right there. Lutfi is one of the only members that can just keep pushing while having a guaranteed way out from a surprise gank from Malaysia.
Item Queen Wing tu pun sekarang dah famous lah guys. Betul nama dia Queen Wing kan? Yang Gorgeous beli sejak ni. Ah, Stormy. Okay, Stormy menjadi tumbangkan. Satu pick off cantik pada Keyboy.
Just to that passive as now Stormy has been picked off.
Yum
lane tries to walk up and now gets
Picker terpaksa digunakan.
forced to flicker out and now
penalty zone.
lock them down diversion.
Masih berjaya menyelamatkan mid lane.
Indonesia,
punya turret.
only one member decides to take it, and it's Keyboy to go and take and those resources, those minion waves that have been shoved in by Lolio in the bottom lane.
And that's what you've been seeing from Indonesia, man. They're using these diversions to really match the macro play from Malaysia, not really to initiate their own pickoffs. Sans here, though, getting caught by Skies.
Ooh. Feeling a bit of damage, but Lutfi is able to fend for Sans.
Great play for
Ni
Malaysia.
risau kan, marksman bila masuk fight nanti Sun yang free hit
They
duk.
have control.
Risau yang tu. First skill, second skill spam kan, kena dekat marksman pun gila kau berkicap duk tu. Setengah dah lah duk. Kena satu combo. Silap-silap suku duk.
To just keep pumping out this damage. That's the mage presence we've been talking about.
Golit tak jauh beza guys, dalam 100-200 golit je geng.
We already talked about the damage.
Indonesia, dah balance balik geng.
You can see that Indonesia
Skor 7 balas 6 sekarang.
Still going around, still waiting around because they know
Sedang
they have
ditarik.
a diversion play available. Take a look at the items. Queen's Wings rush for Lutfi to try and
Penalty zoom sama Flicker ke arah Albert bersama ultimate U. Albert jadi tumbangkan, ultimate yang baik daripada Stormy. Yum jadi tumbangkan. Keyboy menggunakan ulti. Gorgeous menerima damage agak banyak, double kill untuk cewek. Cewek, oh shutdown. Sky jadi menumbangkan cewek. Keyboy.
And now uses the onward just to disengage. It's a 2 for 2 in favor of Malaysia.
Ni. Pam. Okay, ada stack dekat Skies. Ni kalau ada sedut ni,
all damage dealers
mati
alive, but
Skies
they
ni.
have no front line. They'll be forced to play a bit more conservatively right here, but no,
Luffy,
never mind. They go for
dia
Luffy.
agak pecah. Loliel cuba menumbangkan Luffy. Luffy terpaksa menggunakan flicker melarikan diri.
No. He gets out with the flicker. Almost taken out. Yeah, Lolio is definitely pushing the pace now. And I think at the 11th minute, he already has his power spike as they go straight for the Lord now.
Lord.
Indonesia, they need to try to contest this right now. The goal lead is still 50-50.
Oh, ultimate versus Stormy telah dibazikan. Alamak.
And that's going to be the knockout from the Lord revealing.
Okay, siapa dapat lot. Oh, Skies ultimate bersama flicker daripada Yum cantik. Membentikan musuh. Gorgeous nampak kaya jaya ditumbangkan.
And Calvin Winata, CW will be able to pick Gorgeous up. It's a 1-for-1 kill for a Lord.
Definitely still value for Malaysia though, and immediately scrambles into position to try and manage the minion waves. That was a great play for them to just go straight at it, knowing that they have the crowd control advantage. But they have to be a bit more wary now, especially if they want to go for a prolonged team fight. Because we saw in the two fights, the fight before the Lord was taken there, Keyboy on the Edith now is doing quite a significant amount of damage. So you can see Lolio early getting dueled by him. They have to be a bit more careful on the position who takes what damage.
Wall charge daripada Yum.
Good wall
Okay,
charge to catch CW, and a diversion
Wah,
does get
selamat tu.
now as the Spirit of Destruction is in the bottom
Sang
lane.
guna ulti.
Lolio will be able to rotate
Keyboy
over.
ditumbangkan.
Look at that, Keyboy gets isolated completely from the team.
Wah, wah,
The
wah,
team
wah,
has
wah.
basically left him all alone in the bottom lane of Malaysia with the capitalization. Lutfi still kiting away from this Lord as Sans deals some damage back on the Lord.
Stormy menggunakan flicker ke arah cewek.
Catching CW with Frigid Glacier and Skies. Look
Wah,
for
Sky,
it.
aduh.
Skies will be outplayed with a stun by CW as he busts the meteor, and Indonesia will still be able to defend. Not even the tier 2 in the mid lane falling just yet.
Diversion.
Respectable outplay attempt though by
Lolel. Menggunakan prefer mereka ni penalty zone. Ultimate daripada Yum cantik, tapi sayang ada dua je, tak ada follow up damage yang cukup. Masuk. Oh. Wah. Insanity. Sorry geng. Tak apa siap geng. Batuk. Aku tengok baik gatal nak tekak aku ni.
Indonesia, but still, it looks like it's a win for Malaysia.
Both teams just going at it, man. Like we said, the kills are so equal, and actually the gold lead as well is starting to get equalized. It's Malaysia seems to be still winning, especially when it comes to the structures and the map control. But this gold has to be a concern for them.
Gold lead 1000 je guys, beza guys. Top 11 minit
a lot more spammable abilities in the late game. If they can go for a proper fight without any surprises coming in from Malaysia, it's going to be quite dangerous for them. If you take a look at the damage dealt, the highest damage dealer is actually Lutfi, who is relatively ignored, so he's just flaming everyone down. But on the other side, Gorgeous, who is supposedly a frontliner, is just doing an insane amount here on this Terizla. That is definitely something that Indonesia will struggle to try and deal with, because their main damage dealer, Calvin Winata, has a bit more of a burst style of a hero, so it doesn't really shred through this Terizla as easily.
Performance Gorgeous kat game ni okay tu.
Surely, it does seem like Malaysia are outscaling Indonesia, right? Wild charge again into the penalty
Penalty
zone.
zone.
Boy still going to get a flicker out of that, and that's 2 big ultimates used up for the flicker. Who gets more value out of that trade, Arashi?
Considering that the Lord is just up right here.
Kalau siapa tanya kan, Gorgeous punya performance okey guys kat game ni.
To be taken, unless they can't really get forced to go for the Lord because of the macro play. The bottom wave gets getting pushed out. Diversion is available for Suns to bring CW into the fight, but we
Diversion.
have to see
Stormy.
how Indonesia wants to play this.
Okay, Lutpi in the front trying to zone them away now on that X-Borg. Sans gets the conceal of Keyboy to go back into the mid lane to clear this wave, and he will be able to do so. Athena's shield now bought up by Keyboy, so a little bit more sustainable in the skirmishes. Albert, you can see that the Lord Dance is, not as good as it was
cancel,
before.
reset
as
lot.
the Lord takes so much of your HP away. Albert is down to a quarter of his HP, and now it's Lutpi who's trying to take the turtle or the Lord aggro. And again, so much damage already outputted by the Lord. This new
Wah,
change
the
is
real
definitely
tarik
changing
tali by ni. Lord
the
Dance tak.
dynamics in the game. The Lord Dance is so much harder to do. Oh, Keyboy.
Oh, ultimate daripada Yum. Ultimate daripada Stormy. Lolial. Oh, jumpa Sans. Mencari cewek. Wall telah pun dibuka. Cewek bakal ditumbangkan. Wah, GG. Baik, siap. Lupi. Oh, kena pula. Package. Gila, gila. Tahan minion. 1 minion. Boleh end. Wah, game pertama. GG, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Wah. GG tau. Alhamdulillah guys. Game pertama berjaya dimenangkan oleh Malaysia walaupun tak ada suara.
Was a complete
GG.
wipe from the side of Malaysia.